Hi, this is Matt at Engadget, and today we're taking a look at the Panasonic Eluga, Panasonic's latest attempt to launch an Android phone, this time in Europe. It's got a 4.3-inch AMOLED screen, and they've really gone to town on the design in that they've kept it very, very understated. It's a very slim phone. Although it is made of plastic, it feels very solid in the hand, some great viewing angles on that screen, and generally a pretty good looking device with some little style nods like those single light up LEDs below each of the icons. There appears to be just a single speaker on the device that doubles up as both the earpiece and the loudspeaker, so you'll find your music plays out of that. Not that it's a very good quality, to be honest, but it's the only thing that really undulates that large screen, aside from those three capacitive Android buttons. The whole device is a very slim profile, narrowing down to 7.8mm at its thickest point. And it feels very comfortable in the hand thanks to those bezel edges. Along the top flat edge you'll find the micro USB port, obviously with this waterproof flap here, and on the right a slot for a micro SIM. The headphone socket itself isn't actually protected at all, but that doesn't seem to phase it. As you can see here, when we drop it in a bowl of water, it seems absolutely fine. Turn it over, really fill that full of water. The water just seems to run off the hardware here. You can see the water drops on the screen there. And hopefully if we just shake it off a bit, that touchscreen should still work. Having said that, it's actually pretty erratic. Sometimes after giving it these water tests, we found that the screen was barely responsive or only willing to act in a certain direction. As you can see here, skipping through those home screens doesn't always work. We can only seem to go right, we can't seem to go up and down. It'll start picking up icons and throwing them around. See, as we go there, and we found it absolutely impossible to draw down the notification menu. The buttons are all left on the back there with a volume rocker and a power switch, and the subtle 8-megapixel camera there with NFC type below it. It's a pretty simplistic NFC device. After 6 months of ice cream sandwich, Panasonic has unfortunately plumped for Android Gingerbread on the Eluga, although the forthcoming Eluga Power and several other handsets are promised to launch with Android 4.0. They've really done a number on the Android tray, and generally throughout the whole interface you can still see the touches that Panasonic have made, and they're largely not for the better. This menu is really hard to find exactly which app you're looking for. You can't order by alphabet or by most used, and yeah, often we just found we were stuck trying to find the app we wanted. That's not to say Panasonic haven't added anything to the Android interface. There's a very quick to access termination app, and also a very simple NFC device that will interact with a card in the box. Eco mode's a bit more comprehensive, and it's a very simple way to ensure this very small battery lasts a bit longer. You can choose to either have the mode completely off, turn it on, which should hopefully affect the screen brightness, as you can see there. There's a few other options that we'll get to in a sec that the phone will decide to change. There's also Auto Eco Mode, which will turn on depending on how much battery you have left on the device. So as you see, there's a slider to decide exactly how much battery you want left before you turn it on. Screen brightness, whether to turn on and off Wi-Fi, Bluetooth and GPS, and a few other options. You can obviously adjust this as to how you use your phone. The browsers are a good example where the Eluga's software seems to fail it. As you can see, there's this curious quirk where the screen fails to keep lit up if we don't keep our fingers on the display. The browser itself is relatively responsive. It's not the quickest we've seen, but pinch to zoom works, and the browser is able to pass when we want to highlight text or choose certain paragraphs to read. We also weren't very happy with the camera app that Panasonic has installed here. While Panasonic has plenty of experience with point and shoots, it hasn't really got used just yet to how we use smartphone cameras. We had to constantly keep switching from face focus to autofocus or touch to focus, some of the more typical options we use when we're taking our photos. When we left the app, it meant we'd have to go back in and reset these options. It's a very, very frustrating point. The Eluga has a good, albeit pentile display, very, very nice design. However, there are things it's missing. The 4GB of storage is laughable, there's a lack of flash on the camera, and we're really expecting to see Android 4.0 or ice cream sandwich on these new phones nowadays. The Eluga is priced at £370 or $583. Check our full review at Engadget.com. Thanks for watching.